Hey everyone, thanks for being patient waiting with us today. We're going to be finally chatting some United today. Joey's here with me today. You can say what's up, Joe.
Hi, how are
You
you?
can see it drinking on that. So there's Joe. He's got the best friend with him there. All right, so today, obviously everybody knows pretty much, I'd imagine, some of the rumors. So we're just going to chat about those a little. But I'll just ask Joey. Joey, what do you think? ESPN saying Modic is that we're negotiating for him, and like, I mean, there it's yeah, and I think everybody knows, but it seems like there's like two stances. Is you've got everyone that's in England basically saying Modic United, they've no interest in Fabinho. It's all about Modic right now. Some like a little bits about Eric Dyer, not much, and then everyone outside, any journalist outside is saying like, I don't really see the Modic thing. I haven't really heard much. And then of course DiMarzio on Friday finally came out and he doesn't do updates. He doesn't really do rumors. So you've got those two sides. What do you make of all that?
So I think this is a case of United briefing maybe the English press one thing, and then really doing another. DiMarzio is like 90%, 95% hit rate on all his transfer stories. He was on it. Him and Phil Bruin were on it with the Pogba thing.
Yeah, they were.
He nailed. I want to say Mkhitaryan as well. Not so much Bailly, I don't think, but usually with DiMarzio is on point. Um, but yeah, so speaking about that, I don't know. Have you seen this stuff with the Evening News, the Manchester Evening News,
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
Samuel Luckhurst? I feel bad for the guy in a way because he's getting so much shit. But
Yeah, he's getting a lot. The thing
yeah,
is
he's
this.
getting
Let me ask
some
you: has he
stick.
blocked you? Are you blocked?
No, I don't think
I don't know if
so.
have you ever
But
responded to him or ever anything?
I've never been mean. I've never mean to journalists or like, look, I mean, think about it like this. This guy can be wrong at his job and fuck up all the time, and he doesn't get fired. Like, that's the
Mhm.
greatest job ever. I'm not, if anything, I'm in awe, and I'm like, man, that's fucking cool. But, but,
See, I'm
yeah,
blocked. I don't know
are
if you.
you? What'd you
Yeah.
do to get
So,
blocked?
well, well, it's been like a year now. It was at the beginning of the season, but he had. I just remember it was just like 4 or 5 days in a row the articles because I always read his stuff. Same with Stu Mathiasen. I read a
Yeah.
lot of his stuff too because obviously it's from Manchester, so thinking about it. But I just remember I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, this is like another just negative article about the club, about the players, nothing really that good. So I
James
just
Robson's
mentioned
like
it.
that too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like so, but I responded to it and I just said like I said, why so many negative things about the club? I thought like you actually like the club. And he responded like, you only respond when I do negative stuff. I've never seen anything said about when I write positive articles. And I just said, I'm not saying you don't write positive. I said, you're just being a negative Nancy lately. And I don't understand. And like, he freaked out. He wrote back, he he said I was homophobic to call him that, and that he doesn't follow people like that. So since that day, I've been blocked, which
Maybe
I
he's
didn't.
got something wrong up there. I don't know. But so going back to like
But
negative,
he's hard on. I mean, for Modic, like
yeah.
he has gone all the way. He's dying on the Modic hill,
So
and
before I get talking about Matic, speaking of negative, if anybody's ever watched ESPN FC, it's Craig Burley who gave David Beckham that back pass in the FA Cup final.
right,
Um, who's the Scottish guy?
the Liverpool guy,
Yeah, Stevie Nicol.
Steve Nicol, yeah,
And then Shaka Hislop, who played for West Ham. So it's not exactly United friendly, and the host is the Real Madrid fan. So they never have anything positive to say about United. United won 2 trophies last year, and you would think that they just barely, I can't, I don't know, but very negative ESPN FC towards United. However, I wouldn't take anything that ESPN FC says because they tend to be sensationalist in their headlines and things like that. Now, Nemanja Matic is a fine Premier League player. He's won the league twice. Jose Mourinho likes his player. He's brought him back from Benfica. The guy had
yeah.
10 assists last year. He'll shield the back four. But my thing is his mobility. I'd rather have Fabinho there. I don't need that. Like, I don't need what Matic brings. I don't need the whole thing. I just need, and Fabinho is really good at a lot of things, but I just need someone to break up the play and give the ball to Herrera and Pogba. That's it. That's what
Yeah.
Conte is so good at, is breaking up the play. And Conte doesn't have the greatest range of passing. He's not going to make a bunch of assists. He's not going to score a bunch of goals. He just tackles, wins you back possession, and just gets it going to the people that, are better with the ball. And Matic is one of them on their team. Like, I don't know. It's just a different role for us. So I saw, real quick, I just saw people talking about maybe we're going to sign both of them just because we're going to be in the Champions League. Michael Carrick's probably his last year. Yeah. I just don't see that happening. But preseason's in 2 weeks, so I have a feeling it's going to be like 3 days. Every 3 days, there's going to be an in, maybe like 2 or 3 ins, and then maybe chase somebody all summer like Harry Kane. I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And obviously we watched Chelsea quite a bit this year just because they're in the Premier League, but Matic and Conte playing together worked fine. But in the end, it'd be like the thing with Fabinho is obviously he can fill at other places. The man's a stone cold killer from the penalty spot. And just his age at 22, it's like we're building a team, and you can't just have a bunch of 20-year-olds and go forward. You have to have the veterans and people who've been around. And I don't doubt that Mourinho might 100% want Matic. That's entirely possible. I haven't had a conversation with him, so I don't know what he wants or doesn't want. But what I would say on all of these things is that in the end, DiMarzio doesn't tweet. He either tweets news like a player has signed for somewhere, or he says, here's what's going on with the player. He never indulges. I've never seen him once indulge in any kind of like rumor-based anything. He just comes out with, here's what's happening. And the same thing with this whole thing. So being able to see, like, so once he did that with Fabinho, it just said, listen, we're in for Fabinho plus a couple of the Monaco-based journalists weeks ago already said that Fabinho only wants to move to United. Like, it's happening. And he left for vacation straight away. So I know he's back. I believe he's back as of this weekend. So moving into this week. And I'm with you. Like, I think things are going to pick up and we'll finally we'll finish out. So, and I know we're going to talk about preseason a little bit, but with so many preseason games, dream move is we have everyone there, for preseason. Everybody works together. We get them through all the matches and we start the season. Everybody had holiday. Hopefully they rested up, etc. So, but then in that case, moving on, you did mention Harry Kane. There's been some rumors and this and that.
He would cost 175 million pounds, and that's probably what you would have to pay to get him. And
you know how many goals he scored? I can't remember.
35. He scored 35 in all competitions last year.
He's had over 100, I think, in the last 3 seasons.
He's been the Golden Boot the last 2 years in the league. So he scores a lot of goals, don't get me wrong, but I would say 20 to 30% of them are very lucky in terms of, okay, you're in the right place. I understand it's an instinct thing. But I was watching some of them, like the one goal he scored against Sunderland, like the defender just completely made a mistake. Or one goal, he was literally just unmarked at the back post for a tap-in. And don't forget, he takes penalties for Tottenham. And Tottenham get a lot of penalties. I don't know why. But seriously, I watched all 35 goals. And like the first 12, probably 4 or 5 of them were penalties. So it's not something – referees don't tend to favor United with penalties. We hardly ever get any. I can't even think of that many in the league. Like, we probably had less than 5.
We should have had at least 10 or 12. There's so many.
That's what I'm saying. So, look, Harry Kane would be a dream, but it's kind of pointless to talk about him because it's not going to happen. It's just, why would Tottenham sell him to now, they're on par with us in terms of competing for trophies. Yeah, they didn't win any, but they're building something very special there. I would like to see what they do in the market, but they're going to be a title challenger.
They need, you know what they need? They need some seasoned players who've won trophies, because the thing with the club, fantastic, obviously they've been building, but this is like the 3rd season of something, exciting.
Pochettino's I don't think he's ever won anything at club level.
No, he hasn't. And Tottenham, the last trophy they won was League Cup in, 2008, I think?
Yeah, but
right before we won
according to everybody else, that's a Mickey Mouse Cup, so.
It is. And if you take that away from them, I'm afraid I can't find the last trophy they've won. So
that's what I'm saying. This is their best ever season, and then they finished fucking 2nd with no trophies. They're a joke.
Yeah.
Well,
they got bailed out with some penalties. Arsenal got bailed out with some penalties at the end of games last year. And I'd I know we talked about our last video, Murata, or Bellotti. Obviously, name even Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, we've been tied with a lot of players, but
if we get one
in
of
my
those,
opinion,
like Morata, Bellotti, Ronaldo, a Harry Kane, like United have always had a banging strike force. Like you think about the
oh
treble,
yeah,
like all four of them: Sheringham, Solskjaer, Cole, York. When they won the Champions League in '08, you know what I mean? They had a front line of Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez.
even before, I mean, we had Saha. We've always had 3-4 like
That's
really
what I'm
good
saying.
strikers putting in goals.
Van
So,
Persie, Rooney, Welbeck.
yeah, Chicharito.
Well, Rooney, Chicharito, Michael Owen, Berbatov.
Yeah,
I
every
really
time.
like Berbatov.
And I think I'm hoping that's what Mourinho. Oh yeah, Berbatov's amazing, and I'm hoping that's what Mourinho
That's
wants to
what
get back to.
so normally, and it was weird last year because Ibra played so much, but normally, like you look at that one season, he had, who he had Eto and the other French guy with the heart problem.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name. Remember he was
I'm
supposed to
blanking
sign
on
for
it.
Liverpool and
Yeah,
he had a heart problem.
yeah.
So, but Mourinho always has like a couple strikers. I want to see Martial up there. I think he's better as a striker than out wide.
I agree.
But it's
Who knows
so
on that one?
I don't
Well,
know if
we'll
you
talk
have this
about
written
him in a
down.
minute too.
Oh, okay, because Arsenal want to buy him apparently, and it's
Well,
like,
it's
look,
tricky.
Mourinho didn't want to sell you Czech. Abramovich went and did that under his nose, pretty
Exactly.
much. So there's no way in hell you're getting Martial, and you're not getting him for 40 million when he costs 38 million plus bonuses. Like that's just not very smart.
It makes no sense. So looking here, just
None.
on the chat right now. So someone's saying we need Fabinho, a striker, a winger, and he
I
says
agree with all that.
a real winger, not a
What
hipster
about
winger.
what's a
And he
hipster winger?
thinks I'm not sure. Maybe these like half striker, half wingers.
Can he elaborate please further on what's a
Well,
hipster winger?
I
Like
think
like
a real winger
Martial?
is like a Perisic. Perisic is an
Like,
actual
do you think
winger.
Mkhitaryan's a winger? No, I think he's a number 10.
No, yeah, I think he's much better through the middle
Me too.
than he is out on the wings. Lingard's a winger. These are your positions. But he also says he thinks we need a left back. He said he's done with Luke Shaw.
I'm done with Luke Shaw too. I think he's soft.
I don't think he's soft. He had a double leg break.
No, I'm not talking about in terms of like that. I'm just saying there's been like two or three managers now that have questioned his commitment.
No, it's true. You're right on that.
And look, the potential's there. Like the kid's talented. He's got a great size. He's like 6'2", 6'3". He's got, he's probably, 12, 13 stone. I don't know. I'm just trying to convert. I don't know. I have no idea how many pounds are in a stone, but it just sounds good. Like he's built. He's like a Mourinho fullback, like a Azpilicueta, not Azpilicueta, the other one, Ivanovic. Like fucking built.
I don't think Mourinho's interested in getting rid of him.
I don't think he's gonna get rid of him either. I think he's gonna give him another chance because I think he doesn't want to, make up too much change around the squad. However, I think Darmian's fine. Darmian at left back is fine. Mourinho tends to have one fullback that'll sit back and one that's really attacking. So Valencia gets forward really well. Darmian, he's fine. You have Darmian, Blind, Shaw.
But if we go 3 at the back, it makes
We're
things
not going 3 at the back. I think that was just one off. And if we do go 3 at the back, I mean,
it'll be
Rojo,
in specific
Rojo
matches.
could play left back.
Yeah,
he's terrible at it, but he can still do it. Did we elaborate on what a hipster winger is?
Hipster winger. He says Mkhitaryan as a winger equals a hipster winger. So there you go.
All right, so I was right. Nice.
Yeah, you were. You're on that.
Dude, I like a Perisic. I'm trying to think of like younger, like a Thomas Lemar would be a good winger. I feel so bad for Monaco.
They're just getting rated. Well, they went. Yeah. Listen, they made it happen. They went all the way. I mean, they had obviously a fantastic season. They were a game away from Champions League final, almost doing a double. I mean, they had a great season.
There's a player in Italy. It begins with a B. Not Bernardeschi.
Yeah, it's Bernardeschi.
Is it?
That's the one that we were linked with this morning. That some reports came out.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
There's another one though, and he plays for Their club colors are green and black. The fuck is it?
I'm still sad about Dries Mertens. I know he's not a winger.
So I would have took Dries Mertens. Yeah. So you know what? I don't think he's built for the Premier League, but like a Lorenzo Insigne would be dope.
He could be. And
Yeah.
Cardi, same thing.
Why wouldn't we be looking at Costa from Bayern Munich?
I know.
That's
I
another,
was sure he would probably go to City, would be my guess.
well,
And
that's
that's
what
going to
we were
be,
told. That's what we were both told by someone who's a reliable source that has the same agent
yeah,
as Andres Pereira, that everyone thought it was a done deal to City. It might have been, a cover for Bernardo Silva really going there.
that's true. Listen, they're going to spend a ton of money. It really is like the next 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, all these teams are going to, obviously squads are coming
Well,
back.
the window officially is going to open this week too. So then you're going to see teams wheeling and dealing. I expect it's weird because there's no noise around any other players for United. The Morata noise seems to have died down. The Fabinho, it's all Fabinho now, like Fabinho, and Matic, like a defensive midfielder. And it's interesting that, like, you would think with Mourinho, he would want to get, in terms of priority, like that player in first. So I thought it was going to be Lindelof, Morata, Fabinho, and then whoever. But what about James? Would you take James right now?
I still would love that guy. Absolutely. I think he's
me too.
talented. He's not fast.
He scores goals though.
Maybe him and Mkhitaryan are the same player though.
True.
Maybe they're very similar. Mkhitaryan's more speed, but still I think they basically would have to occupy the same space. But in the end, we got to be looking at strengthening every position with quality.
You know what though? It's quiet around a lot of teams. Like Arsenal, they got the Lacazette thing going. Chelsea, Bakayoko. Tottenham, I'm not really sure they've been linked. Liverpool just signed Salah, but it's like quiet right now. And then I have a feeling it's just one day it's just gonna be like domino, and this players are gonna start signing.
It should have been that way with Griezmann, but everything had to rebalance after that.
Fuck them.
I know. All right, so last name that I've seen rumors for, Jordi Alba, which I'm a little shocked. Not a little, actually, a lot. That's kind of out of left field.
29, 30?
He's not 22. I know that.
He's fast.
How old he is.
But pace is something that, like, I mean, I've experienced it too. I used to be fast, and then, like, it's gone.
It's all the news that we've opened talks to try and sign Jordi Alba.
So, listen, when we were talking about ESPN FC biased earlier, I'm watching ESPN FC last night, and they're talking about Jordi Alba, and they're going, why would he want to go from Barcelona to Manchester United? Barcelona who win, and the girl was everything, right? And it's like, hold on. Barcelona won this many trophies last year, right? Or did they win the Copa del Rey?
They won Copa del Rey.
Oh, what did you fucking do?
I know.
So don't tell Barcelona, like,
they won their own Mickey Mouse trophy last year.
Yeah, it's embarrassing that Barcelona have that front three and couldn't win the league, couldn't win. Well, I mean, I guess they can compete with Real Madrid, but they got knocked out of the Champions League by Juventus. Didn't even score a goal. That's pretty.
That was pretty bad. They've got a lot. There's a lot going on there. I know you read some of the same stuff, but there's a lot at the club, and I don't understand the Jordi Alba one.
But I thought it's Mesque Club.
Yeah, well,
that's not happening. What they said. I don't want Jordi Alba. I really don't want him.
That one doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think at this point, I honestly think
if we were in for a left back, we should have went and got Rodriguez from Wolfsburg and not let him go to Milan. If we were really in for a left back. Milan's
making things happen. Obviously, everybody sees it, but
I would have rather had. You know what I mean? So
I still think Lushaw's better than any of these guys.
Is there? Well, that's debatable. He has to play for that to happen.
He is.
It's Nelson Semedo. Is there any more talk on that? Nothing. That's quiet.
Nothing new there. The biggest things that have come out lately is just ESPN. I mean, maybe ESPN and Luckhurst are fucking getting the same things, but they're. I know exactly. They're getting on all of this Modric stuff. Outside of that, it's quiet. So my guess this week, you're looking at Fabinho coming in because that's been on for a while. He's back from holidays now.
I know who that is now. That was saying hipster winger. Never mind.
Oh,
that's so funny.
God. So now let's talk the other way around, though. Okay, so obviously we mentioned it a bit, but they're saying obviously Wenger wants to bring Martial in and just will basically try the same thing he did with Czech, like you said, go above the manager, make a deal happen.
Ed Woodward is nothing like
that's happening.
Yeah, Ed Woodward is nothing like Abramovich. Like Abramovich buys players and tells the manager to put them in the team. Woodward gets a list from the manager and gets those targets. You know what I mean? And imagine Woodward, like he's all like, What do you want me to do, Jose? Or like, imagine him going up to Jose like, "Hey, I sold Martial to Arsenal." He'd be like, "What?"
That's what he left, which always makes me laugh because that's what he left at Chelsea. Is he obviously he managed there, he was successful there, but everything that was going on with him at that time, I feel like he left all that.
Yeah.
He wasn't interested in trying to he'd be at a club that way. So I think part of him coming in is, and I think in this case Woodward is, I don't know if he did that, and that'd be interesting to know, but was Woodward hands off with Moyes, waiting to find out what Moyes wanted? Van Gaal, I don't think
Van Gaal gave him a list of targets.
Yeah, so in this case, I think Woodward's saying, listen, I know what I do it well. You tell me what you need. But now that he's got Mourinho came in, won some trophies his first season. I mean, Mourinho's got to have the full backing of everybody on the board, Woodward, everyone. So something like Martial happening like it did at Chelsea and then going straight across the city to Arsenal, which still, I mean, I was shocked that good to have happened.
But it's like,
no, he used to be, but Chelsea had a fucking unbelievable defense for.
But I would have rather had Courtois than Cech at that time as well. So I understand it. I do. As far as other outs, is there any Smalling, Jones? Like,
there's no news.
Nobody wants our players. That should say something.
Well, it says something about their salary. It's not necessarily about their skill. I guarantee you, a lot of these players would have left long before had they been on, $100K a week.
You know what though? Like, just start paying out contracts though. Just pay their contract out and just. It's like Anderson. How long was Anderson at the club for? Fucking forever.
Dude, he won 4 Premier League titles. He started in the Champions League. He didn't
start that final. He did come in and take a penalty.
Right. The penalty.
However,
I was thinking of.
I'm talking about towards the end. Like, he was here for like 4 fucking years and played like twice.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I understand that there's business in football. Let me ask you this: Who would you want out? Like, if you were selling players and trying to replace them, who would you?
Jones, Smalling. I would bring in another center back. I would try to bring in an experienced center back, and I would sell Jones. I would sell Smalling.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. So
I would sell Fellaini.
A Pepe maybe on a year or two.
I would take Pepe in a heartbeat. Absolutely. I would sell Fellaini. I would sell. I'm trying to think. I would sell Rooney. And I would.
And another one. That's the stories on him too. Is basically. I mean, I don't know if he's trying. See,
I can't. I'm trying to.
I'm gonna be honest with you on Rooney real quick. I know people paint him pretty bad. He always wants money, this, that, and the other. That's not the Rooney that I see, that I hear about so much.
No.
The story saying that he's, he can't find a club that wants to pay his wages. If he wants to leave and play football somewhere, I guarantee you money's not going to be his first concern. It's a concern. It's a business. I understand that.
But he makes so much from Nike and other sponsors.
Yeah,
I don't know what his deal is. I really think he wants to stay and win one more league.
Yeah, I don't think he's really interested in leaving United. He obviously wants to play. Every player wants to play. They always say that, like, oh, Rooney really wants to play. Well, who doesn't want to play every single match? Like, that's not the point. But for whatever reason, he's digressed quicker than a lot of players moving up into that age. But the thing with that is, you see people compare Martial to Rooney and some of these others. Rooney was flying at 17, 18 years old. He led England at the Euros. If he hadn't gotten injured, they'd had a shot at winning that. What was that, 2004 Euros? They would have had a shot at winning that. And then, of course, he moved to United, and they didn't win the league for a couple of seasons. But Rooney's been doing his thing for a while. I don't think he really has any desire to leave. And for what he's done for the club, leading goal scorer, look what he did at fucking Crystal Palace. Not at Crystal Palace, at
Everton.
Stoke. Oh. No, it's Stoke, that free kick to set the record. I mean,
yeah,
he has things he can offer, and if Mourinho's not really interested in forcing him out, I don't know. You remember that? I don't know if you read the article or saw, but they talked about Mourinho just saying how he was a lot different now. He didn't focus on football 24/7. He was about family and trying to, find a balance with everything. And
that would be cool, but
I think that was what he said.
Rooney's on $300K a week, and you can't pay someone that much to be an impact sub. I know they're your all-time leading goal scorer and things like that, but you know what I mean? You got to just sit him down and be like, look, you're not in my plans anymore, because to be honest, I wouldn't even want him as a second-choice striker right now, because I don't think he has that much to offer. I don't know if you saw that charity match. He was trying really hard.
He was trying.
Yeah, and it's just look, his legs have gone. Look, he was my favorite player. He's one of the biggest reasons I love football because he was that street style footballer. Um,
Yeah, he played different, and that could be a big reason why he just physically can't keep up. But all right, anyways, Rooney, yeah, that's fine. There's not many more outs. I know you said Jones and Smalling. I'd keep Jones in my opinion. I would. I feel like Smalling has, and I think it's what sets footballers apart is just their ability to process what's happening so quickly and respond. And I feel like Smalling goes absent and in a lot of moments like that. Jones, it's always been about injuries more for me. I think he's physical and strong. He played midfield for Ferguson, a lot. Like I would keep him, but then you got the problem with selling these guys is you have to replace him. Yeah, and
yeah, of
then
course.
in the
So
comments,
look,
Ashley Young too. He said Ashley
oh
Young
yeah,
should go.
dude, I forgot about Ashley Young. Look, I would sell him too. Look, yeah, you
Everybody
do need
has.
replacements, but it's time to get younger and it's time to get
That's why I
better.
don't buy the Modric stuff. Is it if we've got age and skill. Listen, if we want to bring in Modric because he's won some trophies and he knows the Premier League, we've got Rooney, we've got Carrick, like we've got players. Ashley Young, we've got players who, even Antonio Valencia. You could even throw Jones in there and even Smalling a bit. Like we've got players who've won the league, who've been through tough matches, who've won trophies, etc. So bringing in Modric for his, for what he's done in the past and who he is now makes no sense. Which is why I'm so glad that DiMarzio did not give an update about Modric, but instead Fabinho. So in that case, we know he's coming in. All right, let's talk preseason. 2 weeks. I mean, I think players have to report around the beginning of July, maybe by like the 7th of July. I was reading an article and I was trying to remember today and I searched for it, but I couldn't find it. So you're looking at just like 10 days from now, 12 days from now, players back, and then they're flying to the States just a few days after everyone reports. So things are, the summer always feels long because there's no football. But based on all the sports in the world, if you look like at American football, baseball, basketball, they have months and months and months, like 3, 4, 5 months of off season where they can, holidays,
Yeah, of
vacation,
course.
rest. But football is so different.
Did
And
you not see my hat? The draft was last week.
yeah, I know. I see your hat. The
Your
bigger
guy, the
thing,
guy the Suns drafted didn't want to play for us, so fuck him. But yeah, no, I know what you mean, dude. Like it's like bang, bang, bang. We're right back in it. This is why it's the best game in the world. This is why it's the most popular game in the world because there's not much rest time. Um,
well, our first game is July 16th against the Galaxy, and that's in LA. And then we
remember
play.
Herrera's first game against the Galaxy? That was awesome.
Yes, I do. Dude, 20 days after that, 21 days is Super Cup. And then a week after Super Cup, of course, is the 15th. So it's
Jeez.
kickoff of the Premier League. So things are right around the corner. And I think things have to, there's so many preseason. You remember was it Louis Van Gaal's first year when we played like 3 preseason matches or something?
Second year. His first year, he complained.
He did like 3 matches, like 3 practices. He went to like 3 a days for training, and our players were all injured by like November. And fucking we died. Was that his second season when we were actually like scored a goal a game but didn't give anything up and we were that was when we were behind Leicester. But we've got a lot of preseason matches coming up. Everything's going to happen quick. So I'm hoping that, like, I'm with you. I hope we can sign the 2 or 3 players over the next week or two. So that way, if we're going to aim for, I don't know, a Harry Kane, Cristiano Ronaldo, whoever you want to name, that at least the basics or the main players that Mourinho wants back in, those players are going to be here. And then we can spend the time training, getting ready for preseason, Super Cup against Real Madrid on the 8th in Scope. And then after that, of course, the Premier League starts. So maybe we sign 3, 4 players and then we chase somebody in the season towards the end of the window, possibly.
I'm just glad the Ronaldo
maybe?
talk. So I want to. Do you have anything else to go after preseason?
No.
I just want to talk real quick because I was watching ESPN FC, of course, and they were talking about Mbappe and that there was a secret meeting with Zidane, and he guaranteed him playing time pretty much. And it's like, well, you really can't. Like, he's a striker or a winger. He's not going to be number 10, and you have Benzema. Like, it doesn't make sense. So Morata obviously is gone, so he could take Morata's role. But is that enough game time for him? I guess it would be.
Unless it's his dream club, which from everything I've seen, especially from some of the French press and some of the reporters from Monaco, is that's all he doesn't want to go. Dude, the article that I thought it made me laugh the most. I think I woke up in the morning and just I was dying when I saw it. Is that Liverpool and Arsenal Mbappe? Which listen, dude, Mbappe, nobody knew who he was a year ago. So
no, but he's a beast. Like the hype is real. The hype is so
I agree
real
with you
around
on
this.
that.
I wish we would sign him. There was a rumor that was like Mourinho really wanted him. Like really wanted him.
I remember.
I would take him.
I'd take him.
He's better than Rashford. He's better than Rashford. Or will be better.
Different. They're a lot different.
Yeah.
Rashford doesn't usually play that lone number 9 role. And Mbappe, he's strong. I think their pace matches up. Mbappe's has some great finishing. He really has some great finishing. So Bakayoko, the article I read today from Get French Football is that and basically everything's agreed, but things have stalled. Like they're still talking, but they've stalled hardcore based on his wage demands.
Well, he wants to get paid.
Well, if he leaves, well, did you see on that note? So of course he wants to get paid, but that Monaco offered Mbappe to move him from, I think they said he was making like 18,000 a week to like 130,000 a week or something.
Mbappe
like that. Yeah, like Monaco offering him a
United
new
will pay him
contract.
$280.
Of course we would. We'd pay him $320.
And then he'd be a flop. We'd give him like a 5-year deal at like $280. And then for 4 years we'd have to pay him that much money, and he'd be sitting the bench.
And then we'd get Mbappe memes in the place of Anderson memes because he's just making so much money but not actually playing.
Yep. Look, so I want before we go to like Martial, bro. I was thinking about this. Like he used to be as our number 9. Like he could do the hold up play. He could do everything. He was a complete striker. Hold up play, pace, get in behind.
Ball system.
Yeah, but I'm saying Martial can do everything. Martial should be our striker.
He could. I would be 100% happy if Mourinho came out and said, I've decided that, Martial we're not signing a striker. I'm going to give it to Martial. Martial was fantastic. He was fantastic at striker for us. And I think I think the tough part with that is that the man's had some problems with personal life. And I know these guys are professionals. They get paid a lot of money to come in and play football. And that was a big thing with Ferguson too, is if your personal life's all messed up, how are you going to come in and focus and do the job you have to do? And I think it showed through Martial. We got flashes of his brilliance. We really did. But I'm with you. He could do it.
Yeah.
You take Rashford. Would you play a 4-4-2 with Rashford and Martial?
Of course, absolutely. I would. But it would have to be Herrera couldn't play in the middle of Pogba. It'd have to be somebody else. It'd have to be like a true DM. Like a Fabinho, Pogba.
Well, you could go with the diamond midfield in that one instead of a flat 4-4-2.
You could. With Mkhitaryan, Herrera,
Pogba to his left, Fabinho behind.
I don't know if there's enough width. Well, they could drift out wide. Yeah, I guess that would work.
I'm with you. I know we talked last time about the 3 at the back, and I've been thinking a lot about that since you said it. I could see it happening more often against specific clubs.
Before we go further, does anybody remember, and I'm sure they do, when Van Gaal was bringing his 3 at the back, and everybody was like, no one's ever won the league playing 3 at the back. You just can't do it in England. It doesn't work.
I'm gonna tell you what. You can't do it with Smalling and Jones. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But 2 fucking years later, there's like 5 fucking teams playing it, and 1 team won the league playing 3 at the back. So fuck you.
He brought it. No, you're absolutely right. He brought it in, made it happen. Who knows what from there? I'm so glad he's gone. Oh man.
I know.
Not to go back too bad. What about okay, so Fabinho I think is coming in. Tell me who you actually think, just in your opinion,
Fabinho,
who you'd want. So Fabinho, I'm with you with that.
Fabinho, Morata,
Perisic.
Do you think gonna be it?
What about another center back? Do you think it? I mean, if we get rid of,
I still would take Pepe.
I know you'd take Pepe.
Jones, Smalling, Pepe in.
Pepe's probably going to PSG. I don't know why he'd leave Madrid, to be honest. Unless
there was a rumor. Well, they don't want him anymore. There was a rumor that we were in for Marquinhos again.
That one pops up here and there, and I would take him in a heartbeat. I thought he was. I would have. Man, if Bailly, Lindelof, Marquinhos, are you kidding me?
That'd be a good 3 at the back.
And then Shaw and Valencia.
That's what I'm saying. Pepe's not going to go to PSG to play second fiddle.
Who's PSG have? I don't.
Thiago Silva.
Yeah, Thiago. What about Verratti? Oh man,
I would love Verratti.
Is he more of a Pogba?
This is probably a controversial thing to say, but I would take Di Maria back.
I'd take Di Maria back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Outside of, I mean, who cares all that stuff? He's talented.
I would take Luis Suarez.
Of course.
I wouldn't take Coutinho or Firmino.
I think they work in a system, and we don't play that system.
Yeah, I just don't fucking like Liverpool.
I
really hate Liverpool. Like,
oh, of course.
Like, but like they honestly think they're gonna win the fucking league next season. I mean, they think it every year, but
dude, that whole thing with Van Dijk it's a big deal because okay, so they signed Salah and they've got a fantastic front four. There's no denying that. But the problem again is they scored enough goals last season. They couldn't keep goals out.
Yeah, but also you look at the end of the season, there's not enough depth in that team. They can't play rock and roll football for fucking 8 months of the fucking season. And then, because at the end of the season, they were losing to teams that they should have been beating, but they were losing 1-0.
And now they're in Europe too, so they're going to be so thin.
They honestly, they need to make 6 or 7 signings to add, unless he's planning on bringing through youth. But listen, I'm not a big Jurgen Klopp guy. Like, the guy won 2 titles at Dortmund when Bayern were having down years, and that's all he's ever done. That's it.
I'm not a fan. I thought it was fun watching Dortmund, but they always burned out too, and you just can't play that football for forever.
They also had Lewandowski up front.
Well, I'd take Lewandowski in a heartbeat.
I mean, that's not what we're talking about. He's still my dream striker, but
so let me ask you this: just based on, okay, so say you've Liverpool signed Salah, say Chelsea get Bakayoko. How do you see next season going? Just in off the top of your head in general, because everything's going to be a lot different in my opinion. Because a lot of your top teams are going to even out. City, I still think are going to struggle in my opinion. I think you're looking at Chelsea.
I don't think City are going to struggle.
January, February, March, that's where, like, when we started tiring out, obviously we were still unbeaten in the league, but we tired out, and then obviously we focused, hey, listen, things are getting out. We thankfully got knocked out of the FA Cup. But listen, Tottenham doesn't have any kind of – they have nobody who knows what to do. They have fun players, and they score goals, and they score 8 goals when it doesn't even matter to score 8 goals. It's the end of the season. No trophies are on the line. But you put them in an FA Cup semifinal against a team they should beat. They should have had, in my opinion, they should have beat Chelsea there, and then they lose 4-2. And they call it luck. Well, Tottenham played better, etc. So I don't think Tottenham is going to fix those problems. No, I think they're going to do the same thing.
But I think they'll still be top 4. I think Tottenham will be in the top 4. I think the team that's going to struggle next year will be Chelsea, because I think this whole Antonio Conte threatening to leave already, like after 1 year, you just won the title. I think that's going to have – but they have Eden Hazard, Diego Costa leaving. If Lukaku comes in, can he replicate what his form for Everton? You just don't know. But I think –
nobody's going to pay that for Lukaku, bro. I don't think anybody's going to pay 80 or 100 for him. Not a chance.
They will. He's proven goal scorer in the league. It doesn't matter who it's against. He scores the numbers. Yeah, so I think Chelsea will struggle. So, like, if you ask me right now, my way too early top 4 would be, and this is in no particular order, it would be City, United, not Liverpool. City, United, Tottenham, Chelsea.
Liverpool, Arsenal out?
Yeah. Liverpool 5th, Arsenal 6th. I just don't see Arsenal. They're not going to spend big. And if they get Lacazette, big fucking deal. That's it.
They've got Giroud. I think Lacazette's better than Giroud in my opinion, but in the end,
Giroud's not terrible though.
No, he's not. And I think if you gave him 100% confidence, he'll still score the goals for you. But in the end, you're looking at, in my opinion, it's about the mentality at the club. There's a huge mentality issue between the same thing at Tottenham. Arsenal, I think, have it. Liverpool will fight and they're going to do this and that. And in the end, I think in the end, it doesn't matter. You're looking at, City, Chelsea, United have won the league the last few years, and obviously Leicester, but that was the most amazing one-off I've ever seen. So, all right, well, anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to say? Sunday, I was noticing on Twitter today, people were really hungry for United, and I've been waiting for for that next signing. It's all we've got during the off season. So, anything else you want to add or
no?
Talk about?
just thank you for watching, anybody, even though there's probably like one person watching it.
We've got 6.
No, that's more than I thought. Subscribe to the
all
channel
of
if you're new. Follow the Twitter. We're going to keep getting this going every Sunday, definitely. Hopefully there'll be some transfer news out this week. And other than that, if anybody else wants to join us next Sunday, let me know.
Yeah, tweet us at the handle. We're MUFC Today, and then the number 1 at MUFC Today and the number 1. So thank you guys for tuning in, joining in. Of course, we love United, so we talk all kinds of shit about them all day long. We're ready for the new season, but hopefully everybody where you're at, stay safe. Keep an eye out for the tweets. We'll probably be live again midweek, I would imagine, after we've signed Fabinho. So we'll catch you guys later.